Hello, and hopefully we're not lagging on this one. So it's fixed fire still frozen before. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning into Anfield Road TV. Tonight we're going to be discussing the big game tomorrow evening, Manchester City versus Liverpool. It would present Liverpool with a massive opportunity to get into the latter stages of the next round. We are, as we know, the holders of the competition, winning it last year. I'm joined by two very special guests, Spider and Connor. You know the gents, not going to introduce them again. If they want, do you want to introduce yourself again, boys? As long as you're not lying. No, to speed up things anyway. But as I was saying, Connor, before the internet rudely interrupted on my rubbish computer, are you excited for the game tomorrow? As I said, I did ask you about Ben Doak or any potential players that you were hoping to see tomorrow. Do you ever see some names cropping up? Or Bajcetic, obviously Ben Doak, excited?
I don't know what you're talking about, lad. This is the first stream we've tried to do all night, so I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're talking about. Definitely didn't happen one before anyway. But no, yeah, like I said earlier on, I think Doak for me is the one that stands out. It's always it seems to be and even Pep Linda's suggesting as well that he looks to be the one that's going to force his way into the team. Of course, he plays in Mo Salah's position, which is a hard question, well, hard to get into the team in that area. But it's the fact that, what is he, 16, 17, somewhere around there? Like it's outrageous, and he looks so good already now. It's the fact that, like I said earlier on, if Liverpool can be, a goal or two up and go, okay, we're gonna, rest a couple of players for obviously Boxing Day, bring him on, and that it'll be great experience for him, because again, there's no tougher test really for Liverpool than Manchester City. So you'd expect that, he's going to gain a lot from 10, 20 minutes against Man City away. So I'd say him as well. Also, I think probably in midfield as well is a big question. With Klopp, does he go strong? Does he go a bit of both? I think pretty much everyone might say he goes pretty strong, but again, it's the cup. What does Klopp want to do? Does he want to go to another final and win it, or do we want top four and to keep everyone fit and available for that? I think that's a split in opinion for the chat as well. What would you rather? A top four trophy?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely spot on there, mate. And it's an important point. And chat, let us know what are your thoughts. A great question by Connor as well. Spider in chat, let us know. We don't want to be put in a situation. I think we've all spoke about this, especially considering Liverpool's poor run of form in comparison to the last couple of years as well. And we spoke, I think everyone spoke to the mates or whatever we were watching this season in the pub or with family parties, and it's like when you speak about Liverpool, we know it was very detrimental. But for me, the way I look at it, I loved spending time with Connor and the thousands, hundreds of thousands of supporters, not just in Liverpool but around the world. Yes, for years everyone's demeaned the League Cup and the FA Cup competitions, but for you, Spider, it's 50-50 in it. You don't want to be, if it is the case where Liverpool, it'd be great if we do get to the final of the FA Cup and the League Cup and the Premier League, last game of the season where we need a win or whatnot. But it doesn't want to be that breaking point in reality where we're in Everton, but then yet again, we're knackering ourselves for the beginning of next season or the back end of this run of the season.
Yeah. We all know that the run that we did do go on last season of nearly winning everything, really, like, we were still suffering the hangover of that right into October, just past there, we know that. But also, when you do have a season like we've just had as well, there's nothing better than something like, whatever about the FA Cup, don't concentrate on that. I know it's the bigger one of the two, don't concentrate on it, but maybe go for the League Cup again, just to kind of kickstart the second half of our season. Because I mean, that gets done in February, and then you have months still left before kind of right up to the start of June, that we can play out the rest of the season. So I would kind of, yeah, and you're using a lot of the youths as well, giving them a bit of experience. So I think it's an ideal cup to do that. It's also an ideal cup to bring back players that are coming back from the international break and stuff like that, from the World Cup. So this season, it's kind of important that we play these games just to kind of build that fitness level back up. To go out of them too early doesn't give us that run of every 3-day games, like until we hit, at the end of February, till the Champions League comes back in and whatnot. You want to be doing that now and really getting the fitness levels back up. They've had that break. They've had a longer break in that World Cup period than they did after the end of last season coming into the start of this season, when you think of it. So we finished, coming up to the end of June, the lads had a 3-week break. It was straight back into, not even a 3-week break, it was straight back into pre-season, straight back into a start, and like you could see that we were tired looking, coming into it. So we've had a longer break now in this period, in the team, bar, like Sir Jordan Henderson or whatever like that. But it actually looked like the World Cup did them a breath of fresh air, because it kind of rested him at the same time, but gave him some sort of confidence back in the midfield, because he was England's best player in the last 2 games. I thought himself, So like for me, the League Cup is important at the moment. Whether we go all the way in it, it's important just for fitness levels at the moment. It's important for confidence levels. It's important for the edge for the youth development coming into the side and integration within the first team squad. Yeah, it's very important. But with the FA Cup, I could set aside the season and just say, like, I don't care about it. To be honest, we've already just won it. We're current champions of it.
No, he's spot on. Spider's spot on there, Connie, what he said in terms of it's ideally if Liverpool structurally, and hopefully that's something that we're building to. We've seen City, especially young Phil Foden, getting eased in these competitions. Obviously, Cole Palmer, which we're probably anticipating to see start for City tomorrow as well. And a lot of their very talented youngsters, as we know, their academies, it buys obviously the hierarchy of the football club Manchester City. You've got the best in the business in terms of the recruitments. Obviously, I think it was the ex-Barcelona academy chief or whoever used to run a certain section of Barcelona anyway. Can't think of his name on the spot. But as Spider said there, for me, I'd like us, of course, we'd like to win trophies, but I think if you'd asked every Liverpool fan what trophies that would be, the priority would be the Premier League and the Champions League. But if it isn't to be the case, like it was last year, I think ideally, structurally, Liverpool, in the long-term vision, and especially for tomorrow evening, whatever does happen in this competition, do you think it's give Klopp a bigger idea or a sense of going forward in terms of using the League Cup and the FA Cup, not as like a lot of teams do with the Premier League 2 with the youngsters under 23s, but very much give the youngsters an opportunity like it was last year. But obviously the further Liverpool got on into these competitions, then you did see a lot more the main figureheads. But for you, how would you long term and post tomorrow evening want to address like this competition going forward?
I think I think it comes both ways, doesn't it? As like on one side, if it meant Liverpool would have constant rest, for the first teamers, and to then go on and do a full push like we did towards the back end of last season. I know obviously we still did it even in the competition last year, but of course it's a different Liverpool side and a different we're in a different position at the present moment in time. But in terms of development for the youngsters, of course it'd be brilliant. And I think last year's tournament for Liverpool was a massive positive in the sense that it was the whole squad that was used to get to at least the final. Taki Minamino was
Kay Gordon as well. Even was it the earlier rounds as well? A massive goal at Anfield.
Yeah, well, it was like the fact of Conor Bradley, Owen Beck was getting used as well. Obviously those two lads are out on loan this season, but every single player was getting used in the cup. Now obviously, like we've mentioned before, this game tomorrow is the biggest that it can possibly be. But then of course in the next round you might get a game at Anfield, for example, against a lower opposition team, and then you look at it, maybe you do mix in a little bit of experience with youth. But for me, I'd like to just go big in this game in particular because it's the first game back, from the World Cup, to get that, first win back, and for it to be against City as well, I think would be huge. And then afterwards, I again, it would just be, what team we have in the league. Because for me, the most important thing for Liverpool, especially, is to get into the Champions League. That is the number one thing for me to. And of course, if it means Liverpool have to sacrifice, unfortunately, a League Cup, it would be unfortunate. But I would rather Liverpool, go and just dominate the second half of the season in terms of pushing all the way and getting that fourth spot or third spot in particular, and then whatever else comes out of it. Because look at the last season, what an amazing season it was. But look at the FA Cup final, for example, that completely destroyed us for the Champions League final. So I'd very much like it if we could, just play the youth more after it. But yeah, if it meant going out now for top 4 at the end of the season, I'd much rather do that.
Yeah, and it's as I said, and I think all of us agree, and everyone in chat as well, we'd like to see us win the competitions, but at this current moment in time, spot on what Colin said, we don't have the full squad in reality. In terms of, I think, give it another 2-3 years when Liverpool pad out their squad with a lot more quality, and that by not just I don't mean big money signings. I mean in terms of, you look at Ben Doak, obviously Bobby Clark, all the youngsters getting that 1 or 2 year older in terms of their development, whether they develop outside of Liverpool, loan them out or whatnot. But I think it's getting that right balance, and I think Liverpool will eventually get that. And as Conor alluded to, inspired it. We all know what happened at the end of last season, and Conor's absolutely spot on. We could all agree with that. That FA Cup final, we were on our last legs, in all honesty, and then we went into a Champions League final, which we absolutely dominated in large periods. But it's that elite level sport, that tense 5-minute period within a game, and we've seen that in the World Cup. It's football can change within a matter of seconds. Remember Istanbul? We all remember that Champions League game, and the best players on the planet do succumb to tiredness, fatigue. It's a thing that not all the elite level pros and professionals, they can't always run away from it. But it's a good positive to see. I think with signings in January or in the next 12 months, I think Liverpool can improve that quality, as the lads have alluded to. Then it will stand us in greater stead in all the competitions that Liverpool are playing in. But Spider, as I said, come tomorrow night, we will be doing a live stream watch along as well. Just be 1 second, let's get through everyone's comments, and no worries at all, Dave. No need to apologise, mate. Obviously we'll do. And going forward now, obviously I was just testing the software before we come on air before, but I know we know to use StreamYard, so big up StreamYard. Excellent software that everyone's using as well. So, but yeah, I'll get it on soon, Dave. Obviously, we'll have our post-match reaction show out tomorrow as well. Big up Jean as well. Big up Mark. Obviously, there. Curtis Indies. Trent, more or less, will be fresh, won't he, Spider, in terms of not getting. Obviously, a lot of the lads are back in full training, which is a positive. And considering, what was it, Con? Trent only played 20 minutes in that World Cup? It's not even less than that.
I think 12 minutes, I think it was towards the end.
Yeah. So it's more or less like a fresh sign. Well, that cliche of saying, we'll tell you, trigger the whole of Twitter. Yeah, go on. Fresh new started. But he'll get a fresh new signing anyway, but it will, and that's the key thing to come out of this World Cup, in it, that these players will be re-energized, we're hoping, not just physically, but in terms of the psychological viewpoint in this squad. They would have been absolutely zapped, like all of us. We were fuming. And we've been very fortunate over the last 3-4 years that we've been very accustomed to seeing Liverpool win 3 points in every single game. And it's oh, bloody hell. And that coincides with the reaction on social media as well. I don't think the Twitter fan base as a whole, obviously the much wiser heads, the older heads as well, they've gone through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they've seen Liverpool in the highs, and then obviously the early noughties as well. Obviously, with Houllier, very successful, but that long sustained absence of real winning. Obviously, you're winning FA Cups, League Cup doubles as well, and it's getting that right balance that this new generation on social media, most importantly, haven't been. We've all been spoiled.
Yeah.
But it's just getting that right balance in it.
Yeah. You know, I've been following Liverpool since 1986, as far as I can remember. You know, as far back as then, and you know, I watched the end of the good era, and then the start of the bad era, and you know, the in betweens. They said it's been there or thereabouts. But getting back to the kind of what's going on at the moment, we know that Trent has had an iffy start to the season, and we know that he's barely played any football going over the thing. But what I've seen a little bit more of is a little bit less patient Trent, a little bit angrier Trent in some of his posts and some of his things. And I think he's going to have a point to prove the second half of the season. And I think you're going to see a lot more tackling and a lot more, like, I just don't care attitude from Trent when it comes to, and I don't mean it isn't about the club, but isn't about, you know, being friendly with whoever he is on the pitch or whatever. Like, he's always been a good player, but, you know, these players these days, they tend to go fist to fist. But I think, you know, he might steal a bit of Andy Robbo's attitude a bit for the second half of the season and use it to his advantage. He's going to play angry, I think, the second half of the season. Yeah. And I want to see it. I want to see an angry Trent. I want to see a fighting Trent. He's going to be fresh after playing, you know, hardly any time, which is a travesty, really. No, in fairness, you know, Walker had these moments and he was great and all of that, but
I don't think Trent needs to justify.
He doesn't have to justify,
especially to Southgate. Like, he's spot on there, mate.
Yeah, he doesn't have to justify to anybody.
It's like this notion, like, he doesn't need, like, if Southgate can't foresee, and especially if Southgate was playing a 5-back or whatever, we know we played 4-3-3. But you're telling me, and we know, lads, as well, don't we? I bet you Didier Deschamps would have snapped your hand off at Trent playing in that French team that beat that England side. Christ. Imagine Trent in that French team where he's got Mbappe to it and Griezmann, Dembele, and obviously he's got the great players in midfield as well. But he's spot on this by
there was a lack of crosses for England the whole World Cup coming from that side. Yeah. You know, there was a lot of tackling going on, a lot of winning the ball, and a lot of running and legging it to the halfway line, and then passing it inside, and then nothing happening up the top. Saka was overrun most of the time. He played well, but he was overrun most of the time, and he had nobody underlapping him or overlapping him at any point in time. If Trent was there, he would have received the ball back, and that would have gone straight into the box for a flick on for Harry Kane or something like that. Well, and it didn't happen enough.
Look at the 2 goals that England did concede against France. They both come from the right-hand side. You can't, there's no way Gareth Southgate can have a go at Trent for them. He's not even on the pitch. So, and it's the fact that Mbappe, and I think me and you, Jack, we spoke about this off camera. He could have easily took off a Maguire or Stones, put Kyle Walker at centre back, and go, right, Kylian Mbappe is yours. You know, let Trent go and create stuff, and then you have an extra player there on that right hand side for the likes of Foden and Kane to get into the box. But again, that is once again a manager that again isn't that advanced in attacking.
Yeah.
No, exactly, it is, and it's the fact that Southgate he's a comfortable manager.
He's no balls.
He doesn't go full out. Like, England didn't look like scoring from open play against France, and it's like that I think is what, out of 24 times out of the top 10 in the world rankings, he's won 4 times. I think that goes to show. You know, and it's the fact that England won't progress, you know, good enough in tournaments and so on. Obviously Southgate's going to be manager anyway, but it's the fact that, again, you have one of the best attacking right backs or, you know, right-sided players there's ever been, really. And again, that's Jack. Hello. But you have someone there that can, you know, create something out of nothing. And then, you know, it's a weapon you should use, not leave on the bench, you know, 24 times out of 24. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, spot on, mate. And there's a lot obviously going into this game. It's Big importance, of course, but I think it will be a good barometer of where we do find ourselves, Spider, in terms of obviously the league setting up as well. And it's going to be absolutely carnage, not just for Liverpool. But I think it was as Connor has sent me a link before, and he showed me that there's obviously, was it 11 players, potentially out for City tomorrow, supposedly, or a lot of big players.
Let me actually get a list up.
Well, Connor's doing that. I think that the first point is, imagine what would happen if Trent was on that pitch and taking that free kick at the last second to try and win it for England, or to try and get England in a draw, rather than putting the pressure on Rashford or anybody like that to take free kicks, who generally doesn't take that many free kicks. He's good at them, but he doesn't take them that whereas Trent takes them all. And also, you got the thing with City coming up and all of that, and they're 11 missing, and I mean, where we have players missing as well. We're not going to have our Van Dijks, and we're not going to have our, So
I bet you like Pep and Guardiola and like top elite managers look at that England squad and like probably say to themselves what I would do, obviously to within that squad anyway. But like I bet you Pep was like joking. I bet he's definitely been sending a couple of messages to his managers, like he must have a WhatsApp group or something, and they're going, Christ, Southgate's not starting forward nor Trent. Two of the best young talents, not just in England, but in terms of world football, and he doesn't know how to get the best out of them. But enough about,
he doesn't understand them as players.
He doesn't. He's never coached apart from his time in getting the England job. He's probably not even touched a world-class talented player on the level of like Foden or the likes of Saka as well, even. But enough of that about them. Going into tomorrow, Spider, big game, and as Eamon said there, whoever wins this, it'll be they more or less potentially win the League Cup anyway. And don't we started on this bloody draw. It's what happens when you get a Manchester United legends drawing it, looking into the pot, going, "Oh yeah, I'm moving the balls around in the lucky dip, supposedly." You know exactly. And then he draws out after Manchester City and Liverpool. Oh, Man United getting a home tie. Of course he did.
Yeah.
But what are you most excited for going into tomorrow's game, mate?
Just to see, just a glimpse into what we're hoping to see for the second half of the season, and then what the bench boys can do, to back up the rest of the main squad, going in, and where we really do need to do a bit of shopping in January, because you're going to see that after this break. They've had a bit of a rest. Some of them have. So they've had a bit of a pre-season. There was a weird one against Leon, but we just put that down to being just being a bit off the pace. But
ends the season, that mate, isn't it? Like,
destroys us. But look, I think that we can, and I lower my hand to this, but I think we can go on and win the points tally for the second half of the season. Yeah, I really do, over the rest of the teams. I think they've done their peak points at the moment. I think City can go on a bit of a streak, and they might end up winning the league over Arsenal or whatever. But I think we'll be there or thereabouts, and I think we're talking like that. The three teams are going to be within 4 points of each other come the end of the season, and I just think that we'll win that points race for the second half of the season. Whether we can make them panic enough, City won the league a couple of seasons against us by losing almost 6 or 7 games, in their season early on, and then going on for a great run in the second half of the season where we took a lot of draws. Now you could see something similar happening this season as well, especially to Arsenal, especially to City. Arsenal are well capable of that happening to them. But you could also see it happening to City, because they've not been on the boil really either, So
wanting probably a more competitive league in general, aren't we, mate? In chat, I think what Arsenal have showed this season is they are capable, and I know it's early stages, of course. We're only in December, and we've got a large portion of the season still to go. And I know a lot of very sensible Arsenal fans, good mates, off YouTube and that, and they've said, they keep on asking me, what does it take to be able to beat Manchester City? But it's that relentless nature of digging in deep, the players digging in deep and finding, obviously, the powers what be that their quality can show.
That's the only worry that I have for Arteta for Arsenal. If you want to see somebody else rather than us winning it, you don't want to see United doing it. Maybe Arsenal get involved. The only worry is, do they have the mindset to keep up with a relentless City if City do become relentless again for the second half of the season? We were able to do it. Klopp has instilled in these lads in our team how to keep up with City, how to put them under pressure. Pep Guardiola, if he had any here, would have lost it all by now. Do you know how much pressure we put him on? He said it himself. He just says Liverpool are relentless. They're constantly on us. They're constantly there. We have to be 10 times better than what we actually are just to be able to step ahead of them. So can Arteta do that to the end of the season with Arsenal? Unless City are as weak as what I think they are coming this season, yeah, but I don't think so. I think, City are capable of doing that. I think we're capable of pushing on as well for the second half of the season. Whether we break that gap down, we brought it down a little bit before the break, but whether we can bring it down even further and put them under pressure by, let's say, March, and then you're looking at maybe, seeing if they do survive the rest of the season.
Anything's possible, mate. After watching the World Cup final, in the Champions League, Connor, that is ridiculous. And the Spider said there, anything is possible. Because quickly get to everyone's chats, comments. Nope, don't have to apologise, Con. If you need to go again, just let us know, miss.
I got to go now.
Oh, have you got to go? Right.
Yeah, sorry, chat.
No, don't apologise, lad. I thank you very much for your time, mate. As I said, it was my fault.
I'm just going to say right now, Liverpool win it 2-1. That's what I'm going to say.
2-1. Goal scorers,
Darwin and Mo.
Good, love it. Well, Con, mods, please do drop Connor's links. Connor is live. You're live tonight, aren't you, at 9?
Yes. I'm live at 9.
So I will be posting, obviously, Connor's link and everything. So please do head over. And Connor, I'll let you go. I've had you for enough time. So thank you very much, mate, for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit, matey. But yeah, just the two of us, you and I, and chat as well, most importantly. But yeah, let's get through everyone's comments as well. And if you've got any talking points that you want to discuss as well, chat, please do get them in.
Tom said a bit earlier as well in the chat. Tom May said a bit earlier in the chat, if everybody joins the Discord, there'll be a section in there to be able to leave the topic points that they want discussed in future episodes, so that it makes your job a lot easier. I need a Jack setting up a stream. So if you know what to talk about before you even start, that'd be great.
I'm all for, as I said, mate. Never anticipated anyone to be watching my videos. I'm very blessed. As I said, enjoy it, love doing YouTube and with you and meeting everyone that I have. Hopefully more people to come as well in the next couple of years. But yeah, the most interaction, the most importantly, everyone that tunes in. And it was massive that obviously I covered the World Cup games as well and just focused on the football, and I enjoyed it. And it's just amazing. Football does unite everyone, in all honesty. And yet again, our love and passion of Liverpool, most importantly, unites a large section of us anyway. But get to everyone's comments as well. Only a few games in the year. Let's hope we go and win them. They'll be going quick and fast, mate, Mark, won't they? Does the League Cup still have 2 semis? I think it does, Eamons. Chat, let me know if I'm completely wrong.
That disappeared a couple of years ago.
No, we played it last year. It was 2 semi-finals against Arsenal, wasn't it?
It's gone from the FA Cup. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, the FA Cup. So the FA Cup games are obviously just penalties. Do they go straight to penalties? I think they do. Yeah, I think they go straight to pens.
Yeah, I think in the semi-final it's an extra time in penalties, but that's it.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. As Gary said there, F Southgate, Trent has won more than Southgate. Love it, Gary. Couldn't have said it any better, mate. Anyway, I agree with Connor. Trent is one of those players that you can pull off something special. And as a lot of legendary players said after that Champions League semi-final, you only have to look at the comments. The world-class players, that's what defines them in little moments like that. The intuitivity, the quick thinking from Trent, that could be a World Cup semi-final, World Cup final. And as we've seen, that's what it takes to win small margins. But yeah, big up there, the 1892 Reds TV. I will be live with the lads at 8 p.m, so make sure you head over there as well. Big up there, gents, as well. And it's a good super chat. Thank you very much for that, mate. As I said, no one needs to really send super chats, but really do appreciate it, mate. Hopefully, it goes towards a better computer that actually won't crash me streams. So apologies. But you're very welcome, mate. As I said, when I was doing my channel, I had the privilege of meeting a lot of people and you're one of those people, mate, that I can call a very good friend of mine. But yeah, Doug's gone with penalties tomorrow and 1-1 after 90 minutes. As I said, got good experience in the penalty shootout, Liverpool, haven't we? Apart from the friendly games where I think we lost both of the kickoffs. Well, both of the penalty shootouts. Hopefully that doesn't follow into tomorrow's game. All right, Panov, how you doing, mate? And the two, big up there, Panov. Hope you're well, mate. Most importantly. Just making sure
What two scoundrels is he talking about? I'm only here. Let's see, I never. What's he talking about?
Oh, yeah, Doug, pens. Yeah, but Panov's gone with a 3-1. We're winning this as well. Obviously, big up there, Mark. Appreciate that as well. Chat, get your score predictions in and your general thoughts on the game to conclude, really, everyone. As I said, apologies. It would have been a little bit of a longer stream, but even my first stream did work. But I don't want to keep the lads too long. And I know Spider's very busy and every single one he is. But Spider, I was going to say, who would you go with your starting 11? I know there's going to be mixed bag in terms of we don't know 100% the players that will be available, but there's more or less 50-50. But based on what you think potentially might be available tomorrow, go with.
Well, we're going to start with Kelleher if he's available straight away. Yeah. My thing is Ramsey back for right back?
Yeah. Ramsey.
Just pick him then. It's more likely going to be Matip and Gomez in the back line. I can't see anybody else really starting there unless he starts Phillips early and brings on Matip maybe to give him a rest before the league games, maybe save him. Left back, Andy Roberts been playing the entire time. He'll probably get a start. You might see Simicast getting a start, but I'd pick probably Robbo just to get up them fitness levels again. He looked a bit sweaty in the last couple of games, although he wasn't Dubai as a Scotsman. But he looked. Yeah,
he's probably never had that much sun on him. Like similar to me, anyway.
He needs a wet Thursday in up north just to be able to get the lung capacity back to normal. So I'd probably go with Robbo just because he's available. Who in the midfield? Probably by Chetic, Thiago might play.
Thiago will be playing, yeah. He scored obviously a banger in pre-season as well, which was good.
Yeah.
He's looking really fresh. And
some of his passing was fantastic.
Yeah. From a selfish point of view, all of us, mate, in chat, obviously Thiago, he's played a lot of football even before his time. They joined Liverpool for Bayern Munich in Spain. They missed 100% Thiago on that pitch in that tournament. Watch Spain as well.
Poor.
Yeah, he's going to be really special in the build-ups. Not just tomorrow night, but in the future weeks to come, mate, is he?
Yeah, he looked. Do you know he looked? Because Thiago this season kind of looked a bit off the pace in some of the games and stuff at the start of the season, but it's because everybody was tired and because he's not that much of a box-to-box runner, if you know what I mean, anyway, as a player. But he looked a bit refreshed in the mid-season friendlies that we just had. So, the passing was spot on. The shots were great. The vision was back. The movement around the middle of the park was like a proper anchor. So he worked the game well. Now, for my third midfield choice, I don't know whether Bobby Clark gets a shout here or not.
Because that pass, if you didn't see it chat in pre-season, ridiculous. Oh my god, ridiculous! The backspin on it, like
there's Harvey. It's between Harvey and Bobby to get a shot there, but more likely to go by Harvey because he's more established and up front,
strong getting up front has to be.
I think I think we're going to have to
go Carvalho, Nunes. Oh, saying I'd be playing Nunes.
Bobby will be in there.
Yeah, Bobby, Salah, and Nunes on the left.
You're probably going to see that, and maybe Carvalho later on with a bit of Ben Doak or something like that coming on. So actually, Nunes came on a bit later in the game as well after coming back from the World Cup, so you might actually see Carvalho, Bobby, and Salah, and Nunes coming on. Yeah,
in pre-season, he said there, mate. And chat, let us know. It's going to be interesting, and that's why we're probably all looking forward to it tomorrow. Liverpool back, most importantly. Rotation will be key, and it's the most important thing in the Spider and chatting that we do get that right rhythm. I think Pep and Klopp, even Pep Lind's interview today in his press conference, it's the most important thing in football, like any sport anyway, is rhythm. If you can get into a good rhythm, set you up perfectly, done it, mate, in terms of the long-term ambitions of the club.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as I said, key. I want the team to be strong tomorrow, for that exact reason. I just want them to, whoever's back and whoever's available and fit enough to play, just start them and just play the game, or at least have them playing, just after halftime onwards, just to get a good, 25 to 30 minute spell, or sorry, more than that, even 35 to 35 minute spell or something like that, and play somebody after 10 minutes at halftime. But I want to see the majority of the available first team playing some part tomorrow together, just to get that gel in, just to get ready for Aston Villa, and because I think we've Leicester coming up after that, and it's Leeds.
That Villa game's going to be so tricky, mate. Like Unai Emery as well, chat.
Yeah, new manager. He's an annoying
very
manager
defensive
as well. Yeah,
I know obviously we played them against Villarreal, so we've got a bit more of an understanding last year in the semi-final. So it's interesting, to say the least. Anyway, I'm going to go score prediction, Spider, as well. Check your score predictions when you start 11 in before just conclude.
I've been doing well with score predictions lately, but
no one mentioned my World Cup prediction, Jess.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
I got that pretty spot on. I said it was going to be 3-2 to Argentina, or if it goes to penalties, it'll be Argentina in the end. I should have put a bet on, because I do only
very rich man.
Di Maria and Johnny scorer I got wrong. So I say I'm going to try and say 3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because I just think that if City are missing the amount of players that they're missing, Haaland's capable of nicking a goal, or De Bruyne's capable of running to the edge of the box and drive them on in there, low. And I'm thinking that if we play the way we did in the last game against AC Milan in our passing game, because that was we had a good passing setup and we had a good pressing setup in that game. I just think we'll be a bit too much for this City at the moment until they're ready. So we'll see. But I'd say 3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, spot on, mate. As I said, I'm gonna go. I think go 2-2 penalties. Liverpool win. As I said, it's going to be a bit of a bitty game. I'd love if others to rock up tomorrow, especially at the Etihad, and obviously make the stadium quite quiet anyway, in all honesty. But Gary's gone with a 6-0. Christ, Gary, I've missed your Liverpool predictions, mate. I love it. I tell you what, Nunes, bloody hell. I think that'll be a record. A double hat-trick, Gary. Tell you what, that shuts up a lot of people on social media.
One's been smoking the wrong end of the cigarette there, Gary.
Big up there, Gary. And I'd love that, mate. I love your optimism. I think that's what happens when you watch my channel, especially with my predictions in the past. I always get the Porto ones right, because we always slap Porto's backside anyway. But yeah, no worries there, mate. And Eamon's gone with a 2-1 City. Reds is my prediction. Interesting there, Eamon's. As I said, there'll be a lot of obviously big City players out, but we'll find out tomorrow whether that's just Pep Guardiola pulling everyone's bluff, really, in reality, because he has done that in the past. It's just me, Mark. I have a couple of whiskey. Gary, Kelly Ramsey. It is Christmas chat as well. We enjoy it. Kelly Ramsey, Gomez. Obviously, Phillips, Kostas Simikas, Milner, Bajcetic, Doak, Clark, Nunes, and Elliott. A lot of youngsters in there, Gary. I think we'd all love to see that. But, of course, as we mentioned, rhythm. But it would be interesting if that was to start 11, Gary. But, as we said, a lot of quality in that team. Like the squad, Gary. I don't think he is, but if he is, apologies, chat. But if that is the case, then Trent, as we said already at the top of the show, not played a lot of minutes. So if he is to get put into the starting 11, Trent will let the ground running anyway. It's not like he
probably start there as well.
Oh yeah, Milner as well if needs be.
Yeah.
Can make it a stronger second half if needs be. 100% there, Mark. Very similar like we had last season, Spider won it with Leicester. Yeah. Obviously, the absolute stupid stuff. Well, disgraceful stuff they were chanting in the second half anyway. Yeah. And then Jota very much going up to the away section, cupping his ears, really. That was more or less probably one of the most emotional substitutions from Klopp, and especially from the Liverpool bench as well. Yeah. And we had it with Arsenal as well. Their fans in the away section singing we're already into the semi-final or whatnot. We're going to Wembley and all that, and then Liverpool turn round and then absolutely Jota doing cuffing his ears in that game as well.
Jota seems to be taking up the mantle of scoring goals against Arsenal from Bobby, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he seems to be doing it a lot lately. Look, there's a lot of emotion behind it. Look, at the same time, with our rise to a fortune in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, sorry there, mate, as well. Just a point as well, chat, if you did miss it, there was I got an email, don't know if you remember, or a season ticket holder anyway, chat. I'll quickly get it up anyway, that's what I was meant to have showed you. But it was an official email, so if you're on their mailing list, subject Liverpool, Man City versus Liverpool, a message from Ferran Serrano and Billy Hogan, writing to you on behalf, but this was sent out to thousands and probably millions of people anyway around the world. Writing to you on behalf of Liverpool, both City and Liverpool ahead of the Carabao Cup. Any meeting between our clubs is promised to be a fantastic spectacle of football, and we are sure that you're all counting down to the kickoff, which is very much anticipated following the break in domestic football. But it basically goes on to say, reminding, which is the modern era of football, not just every fan base has got sections of the fans, and that's very much not excusing their horrible stuff they do. Football should be a very welcoming game, but we know there's not just City, Liverpool, or every football club has got the absolute mindless idiots with the chants and horrible stuff that does go on. It does happen in football, and hopefully in the future it does change. We see improvements, and that email is very much, it's sad in reality, and in spite of that, we've got like Billy Hogan and the hierarchy of City, and it done me head in the way in which that wasn't fully addressed by Manchester City, especially off that back of the game in the Premier League.
Yeah, look, you said it there already yourself halfway through that sentence. Mindless idiots. It's pretty much what it is. It's your couldn't tell you what's going on in the world today type fella, but can make sure that his mindset is based on how horrible he can be that day against somebody else. That's what you're looking at. You find a lot of them as well that live in their mom's, above their mom's bedroom or next to their mom's bedroom in their own house, you know what I mean, at 55 years of age. And talking crap on Twitter, just being mean to people for the horrible life that they chose themselves. That's who these people are. Mindless, absolute, abysmal idiots. And they're more angry at themselves than they are at anybody else. But the rhetoric that they use in them stands cannot be overlooked. They need to be strung up and shown to the world, and then banned for it.
Need to be publicly named and shamed, and once they do that as well, or hopefully, and we'll find out come tomorrow evening, whatever the result is. Pretty sure there'll be videos. Hopefully, no videos on social media. Or if it is the case again, I'm open. There is strong action, whether that's Liverpool or City fans, whoever, anyone going to football games, doing the chants and all that, and not for it to be passed off as banter, because it isn't. And hopefully the FA or the footballing industries actually have a backbone, but they're not asked, and that's why I created a thing of creating me YouTube, mate. Like there's people with bigger platforms that really need to be calling out, like not just Liverpool, but in terms of football content in general, and people that do have that audience really, and demanding why are they not sanctioning not just Liverpool or City, just football fans in general. In all honesty, like you've got the FA, the Premier League, but if it was like betting, they're very quick on betting. Of course they are, because it makes they lose out on money, don't they?
Yeah.
But until when it is a situation that does arise that is quite disgusting in reality.
Yeah, it's
they're sadly not bothered.
Yeah, no, it's at the end of the day, I'm probably the least woke person that you're ever going to meet. I'm very much an old school head. I love the banter between fans when we say funny, stupid stuff and put them into really cool songs and sentences, and just laugh about it. And I'm talking about people's appearances. I'm talking about their names. I'm talking about stupid things that they've done. All of that. All of that is fair and up for grabs and there for the world to take the piss out of. That's what I say. It's I'm as least woke as it gets. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, there's a line to draw on everything, and that line can never be crossed. Which not just with Liverpool fans, but just in certain other teams that have had, bad things happen to them in the past. With Leicester and their owners dying and stuff, that you can't sing about that stuff. You can't, with the Manchester United tragedy in Munich, with all of this, these kind of things just can't be sung about. It's not 1982 anymore. You're not able to hide behind a voice and then not be seen in public afterwards. It's an age of social media, and everything gets seen. Everybody gets held accountable for. And I don't mean that like that on a non-moral stage, because they should have morals in the first place to not cross that line.
Yeah,
but
like
now they can be held accountable.
Yeah, the ordinary fan goes to football to enjoy it with the family or your mates or like obviously you're not a relative next to you. That's what football does to everyone. Like in terms of the raw emotion in relation to celebrating your team scoring a goal, hugging the fella next to you, and you're like you've probably never met in your life, or like he's a season ticket holder. Obviously, you might go for a pint beforehand or whatnot, and that's what obviously Liverpool and every football fan like club. It's a community and it's a global community as well. People spending thousands to come to the game. Let them enjoy themselves.
That's exactly what you do, Jack. When you see when you're doing the videos, like say you lads when you go to the games, when I go to the games, and we're holding the camera with us, and next minute Liverpool score, you don't know who the hell these people are around you, but next minute you're dancing, you can see it on the camera, you're dancing with complete strangers, having a laugh, and that's what football is about. It really should be about that. Singing the songs that are creative and clever and support the team and give them a bigger lift on the thing. But when you go to the mindless rhetoric of having to mock death or mock certain people for certain tragedy that's happening in their lives, and I mean just outside Liverpool, anywhere, it's just that's just it's the lowest of the low. It can't be stood by. Your own fan base shouldn't stand by it. I know I wouldn't stand by it if I seen a Liverpool fan singing something like that. I'd pull him on it and I'd report him. I would. So it's just the way it is. Banter is banter, but there's a line. And look, and as I said, I'm the least woke person you'll ever meet. So
obviously it's, as I said, hopefully it does improve in terms of between both clubs, and it will be, of course, the success Liverpool and City have had in the last 4 or 5 years, the rivalries we said on the pitch. It's this notion of trying to create a rivalry. Of course, in the next 5-10 years, if it continues to be Liverpool and City, of course, there's a lot of great Manchester City fans out there that I know have done videos with them as well, that are absolutely sound and lovely people and genuine. But as we've said, it's a small minority that sadly does wreck it for every fan around the world. But hopefully it does improve, and hopefully we're not watching videos. It's sad that we're having to talk about this, but it was an important point that I had to. Obviously, the emails that are getting sent out, it's quite sad, but it's modern football. There's a lot of wrong stuff in football that does need addressing. Obviously, the Super League, people were very strong in reacting to that, quite rightly so. But if only the whole football community actually stood together with the same idea and the ethos and the thinking and the rationale between a lot more important things in football, then I think football as a whole, as a game, will improve drastically as well. But Spider, sadly, apologies, a bit of a low point at the end of the episode, but I'm hoping it does improve, and we do see a very good game tomorrow, regardless of whatever happens anywhere on the pitch. That's the most important thing anyway. Hopefully the Reds can get the results by there.
Yeah.
And we will be doing a watch along tomorrow, live stream watch along anyway, on the game. And as I said, hopefully we'll get Spider, and anyone's welcome to join as well. The link will be getting posted tomorrow in the post-match reaction show. So stay tuned on that as well. Let's get to Robin's comments as well. Big up Ant as well, matey. Evening. As obviously Mark said there, rivalry is fine, but and is a thing, but respect and racism is not. But can see it not being not ever being stamped out. Yeah, which is the sad reality, Mark.
The only way you could do it on social media and really cut it down is you're going to have to change the rules a little bit by like anybody can just create an account anywhere on Twitter and then say what they like. but they should really be just like anywhere else. They have to be verified. Everything, they're going to have to use. They're going to change it to the fact it's going to be photo ID before you can create an account, before you do any of this and that, and then you'll be held accountable for anything you say and liable for any of the actions you say. And that seems like it's the only way to go, because I don't think anybody will really have a problem with it if they're not really going to say that kind of stuff. Anybody who does say that kind of stuff won't do it, then won't have an account, and then you won't see them saying it online, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, so spot on as Panel said there. Banter is a good thing. Hate speech only comes from morons and people with low self-esteem. 100%, mate. These scumbags feel like they have the right to sing what they like because they paid their money and feel comfortable in a mob. Usually times up to, can't see it changing anytime soon, sadly. 100% Eamon, sad reality. And it's a much broader, not just discussion just for Liverpool fans, but for the whole football community anyway. And hopefully that is a thing that Sky and BT, that's a real core issue that we need to really, those big companies need to actually be invested. Like doing like, we see with like panorama documentaries, but you got the facilities, these big companies in sport to really make an impact and make change. And especially, and hopefully that is the case in the future.
Anyway. That big thing that went on a few years ago with the Premier League, where they were showing how all of these, like the start when they started with this kick out racism thing, and then the Sky Sports did this whole thing where it was, oh, we've got these specialized cameras now that zoom in, and it went right into people's faces and all of that. I know all of a sudden they're saying like lately in the last few years that they find it hard to pick out the individuals. And I'm like, you hear it, you point the camera in that direction, you see the person shouting it, and then you know, if it's able to zoom in like they said it was able to zoom in, it's just more needs to be done that way, really.
Yeah, as Total Football said, the problem is every week Leicester, Leeds and Bradford fans get grief from away fans when they're painted as horrible fan bases when they bite back. And as I said, Total, it's not just Liverpool fans, it's the whole football and community as well. Yeah, so we're not sectioning out any fan base in reality, mate. But it's the thing, we don't want to be caught in a position where football fans in general as a whole, where it's like, oh, he's done that, but then it's the moral point of view. People going around, oh, it shouldn't be a he said, she said type of thing. It should be a case of you go to football, enjoying the football fundamentally. Go with your mates, have a bevy, or if you're not having a bevy, just enjoy the atmosphere. And that's what football used to be about as well. But welcome to the channel, mates, as I said. Probably will do a lot more shows of that nature. Obviously, we'll get a lot. It's big talking points, most importantly. But big up, Mick. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well, matey. Most importantly, big up, Mark. If you're still in, can you drop Mick's channel link over as well? I mean, Christy and I've absolutely been smashing it as well. So please do head over to Mick Moran's channel. The link should be in the description in a little second anyway. So please head over to Copite Podcast as well. Or big up there, Total, as well, matey. Hope you're well. In Brighton news for us again. Who are they against tonight?
Leicester, is it?
No. Is it not Leicester?
It must be because
Leicester played last night, didn't they?
They?
I think. I'm going to quick look. Scheduling, because there's a couple of games on tonight, isn't there? Yeah, you got Blackburn Forest. Oh, big game. Charlton, Brighton, and Man United, Burnley. Come on, Burnley.
Blackburn's another team I'd like to see in the Premier League again.
Tyler Morton's doing well, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's doing well with them. Like my cousins, I have a couple of friends, and my cousin is a massive Blackburn Rovers fan as well. So like, it's good to get the banter back with him and stuff. We only ever used to get him in the cup, but like they're a team. It's up north, you know. Drop one of the longer London teams out that are useless, you know, like your Bournemouth or something like that. Let them go back down. Bring up a Blackburn. I'd be happy. Nice short trip.
Yeah, I've had a couple of messages off like people that follow the channel and the Blackburn fans. Obviously, when they've done the Tyler Morton video a couple of months ago before the season started.
They're closet Liverpool fans, man. I can tell you that they're Liverpool fans back in the day that just didn't prefer the banter with their cousins and their in-laws. Rather than, so they just said, no, I'd be a Blackburn fan, but secretly watch every Liverpool game. You know what I mean? That's what I call them.
Quite sad, and I'll call them as well. And do it like, give us a little scoop in terms of what Morton's like as a player. It's like he's very highly regarded in Liverpool, and that's why. And you've been saying that he's been one of their biggest performers in the season, and that's why they're quite high up in the Championship. And I tell you what, if he can get promotion with Blackburn, that'd give him so much confidence, experience as well. And especially if Blackburn are in the Premier League next season, then probably loan them out as well, especially Liverpool signing new players as well in that midfield.
Martin's been doing well there with them, but now you're looking at the likes of Bajcetic and Clark and all them coming through in his absence, and they're starting to do well. And maybe Martin will step up into that role, and one of them will go the other way and start doing their thing. Or maybe, like for me, Bajcetic has been playing really well since he came into Liverpool. I didn't really see him putting a foot wrong since he came in. Whereas you can see that Bobby Clark and all them are developing, and he's a real talent as well. His dad was a good player also, He's kind of above average player, but he was really good, always passionate, good player. So, look, the future has always been bright at Liverpool with the way the academy is shaped up over the last few years. And even if, instead, like we've had a Trent come through, we've had even though Sterling joined a bit later in years, he came through the academy as well, So if we can get more than just the one at a time coming through, that'd be great. And maybe get 2 or 3 through at one time with a couple of them being Scousers, that'd be awesome. I'd like to see a few Irish lads back in that team as well. It does seem the same in the Liverpool side without an Irish lad.
Yes,
Irish. There's always been Scottish, Irish, and Scousers in there, man. And just like I haven't seen an Irish pop in it. Well, I suppose Queevy, from my own hometown, but out in the pitch, kicking the legs off somebody, So I don't know. That's what I want, man. Is just some Irish fella just nail biting at your toes, chasing you around the park. That'd be lovely. The TC coming through as well. Yeah,
that'd be great, that mate, as well. And as Anne said, they're taking responsibility, and as you can see there, chat. Mark, make sure you head over to Copy Podcast. Mick and the lads on there, as I said, is absolutely smashing it. So keep it up, mate. And as I said, get it on very soon. You've been very busy with content and everything, mate, but I hope you're well. And everyone, you're having a fantastic build up to the Christmas as well. I know it's a very difficult time for a lot of people, but we will be doing videos throughout the Christmas period, everyone. I might have to record 1 or 2, obviously on Christmas Day or something, because everyone will be eating. But in the evening, you can probably watch it as well. But as I said, and as Anne said there, send Forest down. Mainly because the lost Liverpool. And don't we start on that bloody away end? Obviously, when we went away in that ground, all my mates that won the game was absolutely disgusting. And that brings it back, not just Forest fans, but football fans in general. That wasn't probably one of the worst away games that they've had in a very long time. But Spider, thank you very much for coming on, mate. You live on your socials this evening?
Yeah, I'm putting the little lad to bed after this. So as soon as I knock him out, a couple of elbows to the head, he'll fall asleep pretty quickly. I'll be back down the stairs to stream. Literally, I do a couple of suplexes to tire him out when we're going to bed. It's funny, but once I get him to bed, I'll be on Irish Spider Guy tonight, playing a bit of PUBG, probably with you and Tom for a bit, Jack. We'll see what the story is. Lads, if you want to come over and see us you'll be on Tom. You'll be on.
I'm on at 8. I'm on with the 1892 Reds TV, and then I'm going to be on with Connor for a little bit as well.
Yeah. So from 10 p.m. onwards, if you want to see us lads falling about
on gaming and that,
on gaming and all that kind of stuff. Also coming up, I am doing watch alongs for the game tomorrow, and always up. I even have guests on for the St. Stephen's Day, which is Boxing Day for you guys. I have people here in the house, and they're going to be sitting here, and we're all going to be watching the game together. So that should be pretty cool.
Oh, that'd be good
for that. Yeah, that should be good crack. So we'll see. I'll see if I'll do it live or I'll do a record, but more than likely live. I do everything live when I'm doing it. So we'll see. All right, thanks.
And make sure you head over to the COP Council as well. Connor is live at 9 p.m. tonight. Chat, if you're available, please do head over to support Connor as well. So a massive thank you, Connor, if you're still watching, as said. And apologies for the earlier stream today, everyone. Bloody my technology, you know what I'm like with tech. I'm sound usually, but my computer absolutely had a meltdown.
Plus, Connor needs all the help he can get, lads, because he's Welsh. So
Connor's a good lad anyway.
He's a great lad.
So it wasn't Connor's fault that the stream was lagging. It was me, my computer. But cheers, guys. Big up their panel as well. Big up Eamons, and a massive thank you to every single one of you for tuning in this evening. As I said, live stream watch along tomorrow for the big game. Obviously, we will have our post-match show out after that game as well. Post-match / player ratings as well. I know loads of people love player rating shows. Very popular on YouTube, and quietly so, because it gets a lot of interaction and traction anyway. So stay tuned on the channel for that. as well, Spider. Massive thank you. Most importantly, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in this evening. Let me know your thoughts on the game tomorrow evening. Score predictions, starting 11, and how do you think both teams will be very much approaching the big game, which it is. It's always a big game against City Liverpool. But chat, see you tomorrow evening for the live stream watch along. Spider, thank you. And most importantly, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in this evening. Have a lovely rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow, about 15 minutes prior to kick off, and we'll be all set up and good to go. We'll see you later, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your night, and see you tomorrow. To the Reds.